Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to 10 Binge, and today we're continuing with part 3 of my top 10 best hidden gem movies. These are the ones you probably haven't heard of, but trust me, they're worth your time. So let's get into it. For number 10, Happy Death Day of 2017, and it's got a 6.6 out of 10 rating. This wild horror thriller kinda mix of Groundhog Day and a slasher flick, and it keeps you hooked the whole way through, where it follows Tree Geldman, a college student who wakes up on her birthday only to be brutally murdered by the end of the day. But instead of staying dead, she wakes up again, right back where she started. Stuck in a time loop, she has to relive the same terrifying day over and over, each time getting closer to figuring out who's behind the mask, with just the right mix of horror and humor. If you're into thrillers with a twist, Happy Death Day is a fun ride. And if you want more, the 2019 sequel, Happy Death Day 2, takes the story in a totally unexpected direction. Moving to number 9. Escape from Pretoria of 2020 brings a heart-pounding thriller based on the true story of a daring prison escape, with a solid 6.8 out of 10 rating. This one will have you hooked if you're into high-stakes, real-life action. Set in South Africa during the apartheid era, the film follows Tim Jenkin and Stephen Lee, two political prisoners who refuse to let the system break them. Trapped in the notorious Pretoria prison, they hatch an elaborate escape plan using nothing but their creativity and a little bit of luck. But with the clock ticking, every move they make could be their last. Very tense and brilliantly paced, with a gripping story that never lets up. If you enjoy films about true escapes against all odds, Escape from Pretoria definitely delivers on the suspense, and it won't disappoint you. Now, number 8. It Follows of 2014, and it's got a 6.8 out of 10 rating. It's a little different from your usual supernatural thrillers, but it'll definitely keep you on edge. The story follows Jay, a young woman who, after a seemingly normal hookup, gets followed by a mysterious force. It can look like anyone, and it's always moving closer to her. The only way to get rid of it is to pass it on to someone else, but that doesn't come without its own problems. What makes It Follow so unique is how it builds tension. It's not about jump scares, but this constant sense of unease that makes you feel like something is always lurking nearby. It's a horror film you won't forget, with a fresh take on the genre. It Follows is totally worth checking out. Just be ready for that feeling that something's always watching you. For number 7, Unleashed of 2005, and it's got a solid 7 out of 10 rating. It stars Jet Li, and trust me, it's a wild ride from start to finish. The story's about a guy named Danny who's been raised by the mob to be a human attack dog. From a young age, he's forced to fight for them like a weapon on a leash. But when he escapes, he tries to build a new life, leaving his violent past behind. Of course, things get complicated fast. What really stands out is Jet Li's performance. He shows a lot of depth in his character, making you feel for Danny as he tries to break free from everything he's known. Plus, the fight scenes are top-notch with that classic Jet Li action, but there's a lot more heart to the story than just that. It's got that raw energy that makes you root for the main character from start to finish. Next up, number 6. Forgotten of 2017, this one got a solid 7.4 out of 10 rating, where the story is all about Jin-suk, a 21-year-old guy who moves to a new house with his family. But one night, his brother gets kidnapped right in front of him. After 19 days of silence, his brother, Yoo-suk, suddenly comes back. But here's the creepy part. He doesn't feel like the same person anymore. Jin-suk starts to notice little things that don't add up, and as the story unfolds, you get pulled into this twisting, mysterious journey. It's like everything you think you know keeps shifting, and you can't quite figure out what's real. The film's atmosphere is intense as Jin-suk tries to make sense of what's happened to his brother. The suspense builds up perfectly, which makes it definitely one to check out. Moving to number 5. Ready Player One of 2018, and it's sitting at a solid 7.4 out of 10 rating. The story's set in a dystopian future where most people escape their bleak reality by logging into a massive virtual world called the Oasis. But when the creator of the Oasis dies, he leaves behind an epic challenge. Find his Easter egg hidden in the game, and you'll inherit his fortune and take control of the entire virtual world. The main character, Wade Watts, dives into this wild hunt, and it's packed with intense puzzles, 80s pop culture references, and a ton of action. The deeper he goes, the more dangerous things get, as a shady corporation is also after the prize, with stunning visual effects and a story that'll pull you in from the first scene. So, if you're into VR, gaming, or just need a high-energy film that's fun and full of surprises, Ready Player One is definitely worth a watch. Coming up next, number 4. The Terminal of 2004. this one's sitting at a 7.4 out of 10 rating as well, where Viktor Navorsky, an Eastern European tourist who arrives in New York, only to find out that his home country has suddenly gone through a political upheaval. With no valid passport or country to return to, he's stuck in JFK Airport, and the airport becomes his temporary home. What follows is a mix of humor, kindness, and some pretty touching moments as Victor navigates life in the airport, making new friends and getting into all sorts of quirky situations. The airport staff, including a strict immigration officer, doesn't make things any easier for him, but Victor's determination and positive attitude make him a bit of a hero in his own way. With the amazing performance of Tom Hanks makes The Terminal definitely worth your time. Now, number 3. Ex Machina of 2014 with a solid 7.7 out of 10 rating. The story follows Caleb, a young programmer who's picked to take part in a groundbreaking experiment, evaluating the human qualities of an advanced AI named Ava, who looks and acts like a real person. What makes this film so gripping is how it dives deep into the relationship between Caleb and Ava. As the test goes on, things get more and more intense, and you're constantly questioning what it means to be human and whether Ava's emotions are real or just a product of programming. The tension between Caleb, Ava, and the mysterious inventor of the AI, Nathan, keeps you on edge the entire time. The film keeps you thinking long after it's over, which makes it definitely worth a watch. As for number 2, Hacksaw Ridge of 2016, and it's got an impressive 8.1 out of 10 rating. It's based on the true story of Desmond T. Doss, an American Army medic during World War II who made history for refusing to carry a weapon or take a life, all while serving in the brutal Battle of Okinawa. Doss's story is one of immense courage, as he stood by his beliefs and still managed to save 75 men under heavy fire, without ever firing a single shot. His heroism ultimately earned him the Medal of Honor, making him the first man in American history to receive it without killing anyone. Emotionally intense and deeply inspiring movie, with standout performances, especially by Andrew Garfield, who plays Doss. If you're into true stories of bravery and sacrifice, Hacksaw Ridge is a must-watch. And finally, number 1 on the list. Catch Me If You Can of 2002, and it holds a solid 8.1 out of 10 rating as well. One of my favorites. That based on the true story of Frank Abagnale, a masterful con artist who, at just 17, managed to successfully impersonate a doctor, lawyer, and even a pilot, all while evading the FBI for years. The film dives deep into Frank's wild escapades, showing how he stays one step ahead of Carl Hanratty, the relentless FBI agent who becomes obsessed with catching him. As Frank revels in the chase, it's clear there's more to their relationship than just pursuit. It's almost like a twisted form of mutual respect between them. The performances by Leonardo DiCaprio as Frank and Tom Hanks as Carl are outstanding, which makes this movie worth checking out. And that's a wrap. Hope you found some new movies to check out. If you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss part 4. And if you want to catch up on the previous parts, check those out right here. See you in the next one.